and I plead and I grovel, and our guest finally, kind of caved in to my begging and pleading. And joining us tonight is Mr. Sean Gold. Sean, welcome to Matt Mandis, brother. How are you?
I mean, let's see. Hey, here's two people that died. Sean Gold. So
it can only go up from here.
I gotta tell you, it can't go anywhere else. Right? I mean, I feel like, it's like, man, on this day, blah blah blah. He finished his story. This day, but this day, Kerry Von Erich died, and then 14 years later, God damn it, Mike Awesome died as well. But then here's our guest, Sean Gold, who clearly is still living.
Yeah.
I got it.
He's like, here's the third somber day in the history of February.
Yeah, fuck. Sean, call. Look, the other person just left.
Right, yeah. Kathy checked out. She was like, "I'm done."
Kathy takes about 3 minutes of us, and then she's like, "I'm done."
Yeah.
Done. They're talking about death, and it's only 7:42. I can't do it.
Right there we go. And she came back.
From here, Sean.
She missed us so much. She came back. So, but Sean,
Kathy,
for those
while you were gone, Howard was talking all kinds of stuff about you had to take off.
I heard it.
But Sean, for those of us that don't know you, kind of give us a little background, who you are and kind of what you're doing, now.
Yeah. What am I not doing? Right? It's crazy. Let's see here. So I worked with Gremlin House Wrestling, Titan Championship Wrestling, PWJ, Victory Pro Wrestling, as well as New Japan. This upcoming next Friday as well. Let's see. Oh God. So Gremlin House Wrestling, I have a faction called Empire. In October, I was in the ring with Sandman. In January, I had match of the night, 6-man hardcore match. Stole the show. Wasn't trying to. Tried to place the match where I thought we couldn't steal the show. Right, co-main. So I thought no one was going to care.
So in other words, you opened the show and stole the show, and nobody else could do anything else, right?
No, I stole the show in a hardcore show that no one really used weapons on, except for us, which is weird. But when you're it's a little weird. But when you're laying on your back, hearing "This is awesome," you must have done something right. So I'm a heel there, obviously, and a face everywhere else. I'm the vice president of Titan Championship Wrestling, and we do have a show this upcoming Saturday in Waretown, New Jersey. So, yeah. And here's what's crazy. This whole craziness. I'm 42 years old, and I've been doing this for a year. And I think I've been on 20 shows or so. 20 and 25, between 20 and 25 shows in the past year, which is absolutely insane to me to even think about. I was actually just at an event tonight for my actual job, and got to talking about things, and they're like, wrestling, and I was like, yeah, so do I. This just started because I'm a PTA president, and I wanted to bring an event to my school district, and it spiraled into me wrestling Sandman. And
wait,
right? Like,
so you'd never done it before you started with the PTA?
Never. My first show was this past March.
Get out.
Look, I swear to God.
That's so cool.
And I always tell people I've never met a microphone I didn't like, right? So the natural transition of putting a microphone in my hand to make fun of people, which was great, to get people really mad, which is absolutely awesome, and to say things that I wanted to say but I can't necessarily say, right? It's also amazing. And so it got to the point, and I've got friends in the business already, so it got to the point where everybody's like, "You're really good at this," and I'm like, "I'm just having fun," and all of a sudden I'm setting up rings, taking bumps, to a point where now I'm in matches, and I'm part of major storylines inside of companies, and people actually follow me on social media, which is so. The whole process to me is weird. So my background, not to get off course here, is I'm a former professional athlete. I played professional soccer for 3 years. This is 20 years ago in the MLS for the Metro Stars, which are the Red Bulls now. So like having 3 kids at home, they didn't see that. Right, the young kids, they didn't see any of that stuff. They only heard about that. And I think it's gotten to the point where at least my middle child, my 6-year-old, when he's home and he's wrestling with his figures, sometimes he'll change their name to me. And so that's when you've kind of made it right there, which is insane to me. People say I skipped the line with paying their dues, and some of them are right. I don't care. So what?
So do you have an interest in pro wrestling before this? Like, did you grow up watching it?
Oh yeah, I've been watching pro wrestling since my dad put me in front of the TV, WrestleMania 4, thinking that it would shut me up, and now he's attending wrestling events where I'm in them, and he's like, didn't really see this as the progression, but okay.
Right.
Yeah. I have my history, my knowledge of wrestling. It's pretty vast.
So how did it get you? What got you actually? So I've done a lot of events like with schools and different community events, and we've incorporated in teachers and people that are part of
course.
The firehouse, your local firefighter, things like that.
For sure.
What got you into the ring? Was it just the draw of all the kids knew who you were, the parents knew who you were?
I think that. So the process behind, and this now, obviously, the process behind trying to sell a show to a school, right? So the idea originally was like, right? The idea was like, I'm in Hamilton, New Jersey, and so the idea behind working with their board of education is awful, like awful. And so they're like, I laid out everything. I was like, you're gonna make a few $1,000s. The whole deal had all mapped out, and they're like, oh, this sounds great. And go to the superintendent, and he's like, no. And I'm like, you're like, really, dude? And so I go to he's like, but if you can get some other high school buy-in. So I go to the other high school and I get their buy-in. Superintendent, no. And at that point I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go to the Catholic school around the corner because they're all about it. And literally they were like, let's do this. And the organization Gremlin House Wrestling that I was in there, you with your passion and you could really do this. And I was like, I'm good. I watch wrestling. I know how. And they're like, no, you can really do this. And they're like, what do you want? And I'm like, what are you thinking? And they're like, heel manager persona, faction, theme music, merchandise. And I'm like, okay, sure. And it has spiraled and got to the point where other wrestling organizations are like, I want you to come in and here's the time of the show. And the craziness of all of this is people actually pay me.
That's great. That is fantastic.
I get an envelope at the end of the night. Are you serious? Right?
Does it have cookies and a hot dog voucher in it?
No, I ate those direct. In fact, if they were to actually target price wise of what I actually cost them, it would be a lot of money because I'm eating throughout the show because I'm taking advantage of the nonsense. But here's what's crazy. I think what people like about me is that obviously now I'm a character. I'm in the ring. I'm wrestling. I'm doing all this stuff. But also how I started in this and even throughout just my fandom, you could put me next to Roman Reigns. I don't care. We're just going to have a conversation. I'm very close friends with his brother, now through golf.
Very cool.
So we were just texting today, and he's wrestling on the show on Saturday, and he's like, "What are we doing?" And I was like, "Well, we're on the show." He's like, "Yeah, but what are we really doing?" And I was like, "I don't know." He's sent me a list of a 9-hole golf course. And he's like, "You want to play?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I want to, but it's snow on the ground. Let's go indoor." I was like, "Let's go indoor." And we talk nothing about wrestling. And he's Lance to my kids. He's Lance to me.
Yeah,
Like,
it's usually how it is. Yeah, you get with the boys and you talk nothing about wrestling. It's about everything but.
it's nothing. And I've been fortunate. One of my best friend is the director of brand partnership for WWE. So I've been pretty fortunate to be at things and to be in production and everybody like messages me and they're like, I see you. And I'm like, who are you? I'm like, I'm just Sean. Like, I'm just Sean. Like everybody thinks it's like crazy that I say that, but like my daughter and I, we were in the Cody Rhodes commercial leading up to 41. All the VIP commercials where he hugs the little kid. That's my daughter. And
Oh,
that's
wow.
awesome.
that's me, right? And
Can
so
you
I've been
get me
very
her
fortunate.
autograph?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
She signs autographs. Let me tell you, she's more famous than me. So
No
she
doubt.
she's 9 years old. She has set up rings. She broke down all the rings at GCW
Nice.
SummerSlam weekend. 3:30 in the morning, she's sitting on a speaker as a concert's going on, and she's getting ready to push all the glass that's destroyed everywhere. Yeah, I give this kid credit. She wrestled like an 8-minute match against me a couple weeks ago.
Did she
And like the
smoke it?
wrestler, yeah, she's so stiff in the ring too. She's
I
so
bet.
stiff.
Yeah,
Like,
kids don't get it. Doesn't
The
work. They'll
chops
hurt you.
that I get from her, I've gotten shot by luchadors. Like, they don't hold a candle to these chops I get, where these red marks on my chest. And she I remember like a couple weeks ago, she hit me so hard on my chest, it was bright red. And then she looks at me, she goes, "You want me to sign that for you?" And I was like,
She's a heel already.
"Keep talking and you get no treats."
Does she have aspirations to do it?
No,
in
I
reality
don't
when
think
she's
so.
old
I
enough?
think my son does.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I think that it's so crazy. Like, people are like, what did you do this weekend? And she was like,
Chopped my dad, signed his chest.
I was hanging out with like Zilla Fatu and like Tommy Invincible and everybody's
Oh my
like, what?
God.
And I was like, yeah, we're just hanging out in the ring. And she's like, what? She's like, yeah, I was on the top rope and then I jumped and I'm like, this is, I was like, you want, I kind of tell her, I try to keep it grounded about things. Like, I'm like, this is not normal. Like, this stuff isn't normal. Like, it's not like, it's not an, she's like, yeah, but to us it is. I go,
I would love
yeah,
to hear that conversation.
right? Like, I'm like, I understand it's normal, but I've always been a person, especially the past year, where if it all ended tomorrow, I would look back and go, this was awesome. Yeah.
That's so cool. I'm so entertained by that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So when you got in the ring, were you expecting to do any type of wrestling, or were you like, hey man, I'm just there for like, a full body? And then how much did you actually get in the ring and say, I'm going to train up to do this?
So I just had this conversation tonight, actually. So the first show I took a little bump like off of a briefcase, like from the top, from like the the side of the apron. Briefcase fell, landed on a mat, and I was like, well, that hurt like a little bit because I landed wrong. But there's on my face, no protection, just bam. It was fine though. I was fine with it. And I was like, maybe I should kind of learn a few things, right? I learned a few things, right? And then right. And I think at that point I was like, I feel very comfortable with like, I was playing around with a kendo stick one day and like in the back, and I was like, oh, hit me with this. Because like I never been hit with a kendo stick before. It looks like it hurts. And like when I get hit by it, I go, that doesn't hurt at all. And I'm like, I could get hit by this. And like, so like I figured out a way to like integrate the PTA president of that school with a segment where I blasted the school, I blasted the town, basically called them Trenton, right? Like the whole deal. Like I specifically had them flipping me off. And a point
You can't
like
get that much lower, huh?
Right. Like I tried, right. Like I was like a 6 month, like, because again, as the PTA president, I can't say certain things, but as Sean Gold, I can say anything I want. And so I got them really pissed off, and to a point where I turned around and got low blowed by him. And then like two big guys came in the ring and they just beat me to death with a kendo stick. And I rolled out of the ring and I was like laying on the ground, and someone in the front row was like, you good? And I was like, hell yes, I'm good. He goes, I look pretty brutal. I go, I'm fine. And then that progressed to what else can I do? And I was like, maybe I can, as I'm setting up a ring, I'm doing things, I'm taking power slams. I'm like, what else can I do? I'm like, started listening, and the Sandman thing kind of came up, and the whole segment didn't really work how the original person expected. So I called an audible in it because I was listening to the crowd. You always want to listen to the crowd, right? You want to hear the reaction, right? No reaction is a bad reaction, right? So I kind of shook like the guy who was on the ground, and I was like, I need you to like do something. He's like, what? I was like, throw a cutter at me. And I was like, all right. He's like, all right. And so I'm like, I'd never taken a cutter in my whole life. I have zero. And I was like, but in my mind, right? But in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is what you have to do. Like, and so worked out perfectly. Cutter looked great. And I'm laying on the ground, and all of a sudden, next thing, guy grabs me. He's like, I love you. I'm going to choke slam you. I was like, hell yeah, let's go. Never took a choke slam in my life.
That's on the job training right there.
Boom,
right?
Choke slam. And I'm like, okay, now what else can I do? And I'm like, I think at this point I can design a street fight where I spend the time with the guys that before, and this is what we got to do. And it got a little violent, not from the wrestler's point of view. So I created so much heat on January 10th in Gloucester City, New Jersey, that a fan punched me in the eye.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Oh,
Well, you were in Gloucester, so that's bound to happen in Gloucester City.
It was 30 seconds into the match. We designed somewhere 2 hours prior. It was really good, and like I had a lot of crowd interaction throughout the match that I wanted to do. And so I'm there. I'm running around a kendo stick to the owner of the company, and he's sitting next to somebody in a wheelchair, and his son who's special needs. But keep in mind, his special needs son is like 6'1", 250. Let's be clear. So I go
You're like,
over
I
there.
didn't get beat up by like a 5-year-old.
No. So I go over to them, and I'm looking at the guy who I'm trying to I'm like, get away from this guy in a wheelchair. Stop being, And all he hears is me talking crap about his father in a wheelchair. But I'm not talking about the get away from the guy. And he goes, that's my father. And he punches me right in the eye. This is 30 seconds into the match. So I stood there, I took it, and everybody else was looking around at me like, what do we do? And I'm like 30 seconds into this match, and I'm like, I can't, I just got to keep going, right? Forget, I'm not even worried about him right now. So I grab one of the guys, I'm like, just throw me into the ring post and get me away so that other people can chop me around the ring. And so that's it, going through, and then the finale of the match was me going through a door, being powerbombed through a door. Never took a power bomb. Never took a door thing.
Did you know?
But it looks.
Did you know that was coming, or would I just?
Yeah. I designed it. Yeah, because I was like, this looks like it doesn't hurt that bad, and like it was so funny because as it happens, and I split the door in two, and I'm laying down for the 3, and I'm hearing everybody go, "This is awesome!" And the ref whispers, "Are you okay?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm fine, but my eye hurts." like the match. And then I worked the next day up in Ridgefield Park, and they're like, "What do you want to do?" I was like, "Just commentary on the show tonight. Just comment."
You're like, I can't see, and I just want to do.
My whole thing is like, I was like going like this, because like I swear to God, if I'm bleeding, I can't explain this to my wife how a fan punched me, but right. But they say all heat is good heat, so I clearly generated enough heat to have a fan punch me in the face. But I will tell you, Austin Aries was next to me when I went in the back, and he goes, I got to tell you. I was like, what? He goes, anybody else would have laid that kid out. And I was like, he's like, I give you credit for like, and I was like, dude, I was like, I don't know what I don't know. And I was like, and also like, it's 30 seconds into a match. Why am I going to ruin it for everybody else?
Yeah, you're like, and he was in a wheelchair, and
the father was in a wheelchair. The son, but you know what? To be honest, I'm still waiting for an apology from them. If they do show up to the Gremlin show on March 21st, they will have a conversation with me. Because if they do, I'm gonna be like, yeah. Well, I'm like, you guys. I know he's special needs. You can't do stuff like that. Like if it was anybody else, they would have killed you.
Wow, that's crazy.
Because you've seen fans jump the barricade, and you've seen wrestlers get out of character, and I guess all the wrestlers kind of like I guess I gained a level of respect from the wrestlers because I didn't jump out of character.
Wow.
Wow.
Jeez,
Crazy.
I've been kicked in the knee and the shin, but never punched in the eye by a kid.
Like just.
It's crazy.
I think it's on YouTube. If you type in Sean Gold hit by fan,
I gotta
I
see
think it's
it.
there. I think it's there.
Oh my
somewhere.
God.
Yeah.
It's probably
It's
like
like-
viral to be like the biggest thing on YouTube. Like
Yeah,
It's
right?
gotten views. I'm looking at it right now. So Sean Gold,
that
Gremlin
is
Hercules,
nuts.
fan punched. Yep. Wait, no, that's just my Instagram. I know it's on YouTube. I know it's on YouTube because I had seen a post of it. And I was like, let's see just
Oh
how
my
'cause I
God.
was there. Let's see how bad it looks like on TV type thing. And I looked
See,
at it,
Howard, this is why we say you just sit in the seat. You know, when somebody gets thrown out on your lap, you just sit there.
Right.
Yeah.
You just sit there.
And I've been thrown on
and-
people's laps and they love it. And I'm like, hey,
Oh
what's up?
my
How you
God.
doing? I like wait on somebody for like 10 minutes.
It sounds like a lawsuit nightmare. It's like, oh my
Yeah.
God, he punches you in the eye, and he's like, his eye hit my fist. I'm suing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
So where do you for your persona? Who do you draw inspiration from? Where do you draw your inspiration from to generate the heat that you get?
So it's funny. So the old school heat's Roddy Piper, right? Always,
Yeah.
right? Oh, that old school real heat. Because I don't necessarily, I don't know if I would say I'm not Baron Corbin where I have like go away heat. Where like just don't want to be on camera. And but I think it's an inspiration of that. And it's also an inspiration of, I don't want to say it's inspiration because he's like fucking 15 years younger than me. But you look at how MJF handles these situations, right? And look, I'm not 100% in character all the time, right? Obviously, I'm not, but I will say that I have, when I'm healed, I've made kids cry. Like, it was my goal to do it. Like, even people I know, like parents that bring their kids, that I look at their kids and I go, your brother should have been here, not you. I didn't want you there. And you just see like the tears coming down the face, and then like the father texted me going like, that was awesome. Right. Like, and so I draw it from them. It's them, but also at the same time, I can turn around and Titan Championship Wrestling like I will on this Saturday, and I make my return after 3 months, and this massive storyline that we're doing that's started in probably August and probably will continue for a long time as a face. And so as soon as I get there, there will be people that'll cheer me. There'll still be people that'll boo me. Because obviously being a bad guy is cool, right? Sometimes. But I'll go right over to the special needs kids that love hugging me and drawing pictures and hug them and give them autographs. And it's a different thing because sometimes it's nice to do that. But the heel heat, there's nothing better. There's nothing better. And Roddy showed the way, right? Roddy showed the way.
Yeah, it's funny because last year's ECWA Super 8 tournament, there was a young kid, Leo Sparrow, came out. And of course, in a tournament like this, when you have a lot of guys that aren't normally on the ECWA roster, they literally have seconds to establish who they are. And Leo comes out, very lean, skinny kid. And he finds one kid that's got headphones on, sitting ringside. And he looks dead at the kid. He's like, hey, you. And the kid looks up all bright-eyed. Here's this pro wrestler talking to him, right? He's like, Take your headphones off, man. I want to talk to you. Kid takes his headphones off and he points that at him. I don't even like you. And the kid his whole body was flushed. And now the kid's like literally on the verge of crying. Now his dad's involved. Now his dad's jawing back and forth with Leo.
Yeah.
Leo's, of course, holding the ring rope. Come on in here. If you want to do something about it, come on in here. And I'm like, man, in a 10-second conversation, Leo hooked him. And you knew right away that he was a bad guy.
My first promo in March. Well, so I had a couple of vignettes, a couple of promos that I recorded that kind of leaned towards me being heel. But my first promo in March of last year, I got into the ring. I I started looking really quickly, and I had my kids at the ringside with my sign that said, "I'm here for good guys." So the first thing I did was I ripped the sign up, right, threw it back in their face. First thing I did, right, and then I looked and I got on the microphone and I started talking to the fans and how they sucked and how I found the fat guy, and I said, I said, yo, hey, fatty in the fourth row. I said, don't worry, I have your size at my table. What is that, 4X? I got you. And immediately turned and I started pointing at the 40-year-old virgin in the front row. And then I turned to my family and I was like, and there's people here that love to call me dad. And the girl next to him likes to call me daddy, because that's my wife. I then found someone on their phone. I said, stop swiping right. You're old and ugly. Go buy my shirt. And so he immediately attacked the fans, because that's how you get the if you're not known.
Right. That's great. Excuse me. So you said you had shows coming up. Where are your shows coming up?
So we have, so there's this upcoming Saturday is Waretown, New Jersey. The Firehouse. It's Titan Championship Wrestling presents Worship the Devout. It's a whole I hate the devout, but that's my own personal thing. Anyway, so there's that. There's that. We have and then the following Friday we're at New Japan Championship Wrestling presents New Beginnings. And that is at the Cure Insurance Arena in Trenton. So the 10,000 square foot, 10,000 seat arena. 2 days later, we're at PWJ. And that's in Ridgefield Park, New Jersey. Great card there too. And then on the 21st of March, we were back in Hamilton for Gremlin House Presents Godzilla. So we're there, and I have the idea of what I want to do. Whether or not it goes off without a hitch, we'll see. Because it's basically me responding to what happened on January 10th, right? Like the acid thing I took and stuff. And all I hear in my mind is the Mark Henry retirement speech. That's all I hear in my mind. How do I bring the crowd in? How do I bring them in? Well, I bring them in by retiring, by like saying, I'm 42 years old, I can't do this, and calling to my family and like I got kids and I can't do this stuff. All the while, Mark Henry's in the back of my mind.
Right. Now, and I've asked this question before. We've on the VOC Nation, Maestro has his own show, WCW Fame Maestro, and he was on our show one Wednesday night, and we were asking like famous arenas, like where do you guys like to, like your favorite spot, and I'll ask you, and I'll give you kind of what happened after that. Of all the places that you've been, what is your favorite arena, favorite place to perform in, and what makes it special?
I mean, I don't have much answers to that yet, right? In my life, I would say Friday's going to be really cool because it's a 10,000 seat arena next Friday. I think being in Hamilton and Hamilton's own, there's some caveat to the fact that my house is 2 minutes away. But arenas that I'd like to perform in, I'm pretty even keeled, right? So, I've been to the O2 Arena, right? I was at Forbidden Door this year in London, right? And so that was really cool. But I think I'm 42 years old. I'm not an idiot, right? Like I don't expect to be performing the O2 Arena, but the two places that I could see myself performing, somehow weaseling my way into doing something on a show would be the 2300 Arena.
Beautiful place.
And Hammerstein would be the two
the
places.
Hammerstein Ballroom.
Right. I think then also the other one, because it's not out of the question because of the relationships I've built, is the Poughkeepsie Civic Center. So right, because those are the three that if you were to say to me, like, where could you potentially, like, where does it plateau, right? There's kind of where it is. Right, because again, and it's crazy because I've had these conversations with promoters before because I'm very real. And I'm like, you guys think that like I have some goal to be picked up by the WWE tomorrow. I got friends there. I don't want to. I got friends in AEW, like high up producers in AEW. Can make a call and I could be on their sales team in 2 seconds. But that's not the goal. The goal is I'm 42 years old, man. I'm just having fun with this. Right. And so, but like I could, like, you're not going to see me like the, Louis Armstrong Stadium at freaking Double or Nothing, like wrestling. Like,
right.
I mean, maybe I could do like a spot. I don't know. But like, again, like I'm even shocked I'm getting paid. Like that's ridiculous to me at this point. Right. Like what they don't understand is I probably do it for free, but I'm not going to not take a couple bucks.
You're not going to tell them that, right?
No, I would never tell them that. I mean, I told Gremlin's house, they were like, "Are you gonna be in the ring with Sandman?" I said, "Cool, you're still gonna pay me though." Like, sorry. Like, great, wonderful. But like, I think those are like those to me would be the where it could go. I don't think anything higher than that. Something happened. Right? So somebody saw something.
Right. So I laid that question. I think we had, Mozart was obviously on the show. I think we had Mr. Ooh La La and Glenn Osborne. And we were talking about, famous places, the Mid-South Coliseum, Madison Square Garden, the old Omni in Atlanta. So then I just kind of went around, Mozart, Ooh La La, where's your favorite place? And they're referencing, the Boys and Girls Club down in Delaware, the church down in Delaware, a couple hundred, 400 or 500 people, in a room. Well, now it gets to Stro, and I'm like, Stro, where's your favorite place to wrestle? And he hits us with Tokyo Egg Dome. It only seats 70,000 people.
I was still rubbing that one in on my face.
Well, I got to. It's the only thing I got.
My friend Oni is in Japan right now. He's wrestling. He's working with them, working with Noah and stuff like that right now. And we're just messaging about the egg salad. And like if you were to say like we're in like Tokyo, like we're in Japan, would you want to wrestle? And I said I don't want to wrestle anywhere. I just want to go to the steakhouse. Like I just want to go to the Bavarian Steakhouse, right?
Yeah, you're like I'm just going on the road for the steakhouse. I don't want to do anything.
Like at this point, I just want the jacket. But at this point, I in theory could wear the jacket and not feel bad about it. Because I see people like with these, right? Like I see people like on like Instagram. I've seen people at shows too, like bring this jacket. I know it's like bootleg, right? Mm-hmm. But it makes me mad. Like and like my buddy who's with the WWE, he works in partnership, and he was just in Tokyo too. And I was like, go get the jacket. He's like, absolutely not. I've never been in the ring. And I was like, right. Respect thing. And I said, well, at this point now I have, and I got paid for it, so I should be able to get that jacket too. So go pick me up. Go get it yourself.
Right. I just had a thought in my head and it left. I know you said you're from Hamilton.
That's not surprising.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
Grew up in Hamilton. Yeah.
Just to clarify, because you're from the northern Hamilton in New Jersey, not the southern one closer to the shore.
Not the one that's probably 15 minutes from me right now. So I'm in a hotel room in Atlantic City right now.
Oh, nice.
So,
okay.
Yeah, not the one.
Yeah, there is a Hamilton about 15 minutes up the street from you. Yes.
Correct. Yeah, not that one. Hamilton Township. DirecTV says, "Are you in Trenton?" And I said, "No, I'm in Hamilton." And they're like, "Yeah, but your address comes up as Trenton." And I said, "Well, then give me Trenton taxes, not Hamilton taxes."
Right.
I say I'm near Princeton. That's what I said.
Oh gosh,
Jersey confuses me. I make turns that I'm not supposed to make. I'm in towns I'm not supposed to be in.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's pretty brutal.
Probably have a conversation about North Central and South. North Central and South is like people are like
it's different countries.
They're like because so here's the crazy thing, right? Not to get off in the football situations, right? But like where I am is closer to Philly, so they're all Eagles fans. And then where I grew up, they're all Giants fans. And then I'm a Patriots fan. Everybody can fuck themselves.
and Mozart, I don't know. You've probably heard this before, but the biggest more that we have going on in New Jersey right now is pork roll or
Pork
Taylor
roll.
ham. And it's definitely pork roll,
Pork roll.
without a doubt. It's pork
I-
roll. You're wrong if it's
You
anything else.
Listen, I
You
have no
can't go
idea.
into
It's like a different
You
country to
cannot
me,
go
man.
into
Like,
a breakfast place and say, "Can I have Taylor ham, mac and cheese?" That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. You walk in, you say, "Pork roll, mac and cheese, salt, pepper, ketchup, hot sauce." Boom, done.
Yeah, that's
wait
it.
a minute, so hold on. What is pork roll and what is tailored ham? Like to me,
Taylor ham
It's
makes
circular.
pork roll.
Correct.
Yes. It's
what's
a
the shit
circular
you
piece
buy
of
at the
ham.
grocery store.
It's a circular piece of ham.
So they just roll it up and call it a pork roll.
It's and
No,
it's
no.
you can either buy it in the loaf or you can buy it sliced.
What the fuck?
Yep.
We have Scrapple
Yep.
here. That's all I know. That
Scrapple's
Delaware's
good too.
Like you
That was
know,
good.
I could give it or take it. I grew up on it. But see, let me talk to you about Jersey. It confuses the hell out of me because from North Jersey, they'll almost literally tell you they're from New York. It's like you're not, but okay, thank you. And no, I'm a
Yeah.
New Yorker, like you said, like they're Giants fans. You know. South
Yeah.
Jersey is they're either I'm from the beach, I'm from the shore, you guys call it.
Yep.
And you're
The
like, we're not
shore.
near the shore,
Yep.
but okay. They're either from the shore or they're
Yep.
from Philly. It's like, oh my God, you guys are confusing.
And they're not. It's a
You
different
know what I
state.
mean?
It's a different.
Yeah, and it's all
a
yeah,
different
and the
state.
central part of the state is gorgeous. Like it's like a whole different country.
Right.
You know, it's like
That's where people tell me
farmland
I'm
and-
from, that I live. Yeah, that's where
You
people
look like
tell me
yeah,
I live.
you look like you're cultured from Howard looks like the you know the southern garbage. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm from
It's funny.
extreme South Jersey.
He's from
It's-
like Wildwood.
It's
Well,
yeah,
that's the thing. When
It's-
people say they're from the shore, you have to have a conversation with them because what does that mean?
Okay.
Because
What exit are you?
right? Because if you're from the shore, what exit are you? Right? Because I have a shore house
Okay.
in Margate. That's 70 exits from where the shore starts too. Like
Yeah.
okay. See,
so
it's
that's
confusing,
70
man. I'm
miles
telling
away.
you. I'm
Yeah,
like,
because Point
You know,
Pleasant
it's-
Beach is still the shore. But
Yeah.
it's from here. It's it's 60 miles.
I
Right,
had
like-
friends in North Jersey. I've had friends all over Jersey. I joke, I kid with them. That's why I think it is confusing to me though. Like to drive there, I'm like, where the hell are we? And where are we? If I'm not on the turnpike, like I'm literally like I'm pretty lost without the GPS.
Well, when I moved, we were in West Orange for a few years. For like 5 years, we moved from West Orange to Hamilton, and I was like, "Oh, I'm moving to South Jersey." And everybody's like, "That's actually Central still." And I said, "It's
Yeah.
south of me."
Right?
Right.
I said,
You didn't
"So-"
even know where you're from.
I said my taxes say it's South Jersey at that point.
Right.
I said, Essex County and Mercer County were on two different wavelengths there. Like, you know, and I think that's how I equate it. But in reality, I'm in South Jersey right now, like South Jersey. But like,
Right.
it's hard. It's confusing.
Right. But I
And
just, I
that's
just
like
want
the
to
one
take
thing is everyone says, what exit from the turnpike are you?
yeah.
Yeah.
7A.
I mean, it's
Yep.
I'm saying you're 7-8. Yeah.
Dallas Page
Yep.
would always say to me, what exit, babe? I said, a 3.
yeah. Wait,
So-
Dallas is from
Yeah,
Jersey
yeah.
though, isn't he? Like, how does he
Yeah,
not
he's
know?
north.
Yeah, but he's on the
He's
other
north
side
door.
of Jersey.
I was like,
Yeah.
come on now.
He's the shore.
But-
Exactly. The shore.
You're-
Sean,
Here's how I
Kathy
view
is
Jersey. Is it above Great Adventure or below Great Adventure? Then we can talk.
he's at Great Adventure.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I am right. I'm 100. I am 16 minutes door to door. West of Great Adventure, and I'm literally 16 minutes door to door. And I know this because I have a season pass, so I know exactly how long.
Dude,
Oh,
that's
you're
awesome.
close, man. Now,
Yeah,
listen, I do have to tell you,
from me.
I do have
Yeah.
to tell you, I wasn't able to make the Gremlin show in Gloucester. I heard it was great. I was at Outlaw in Medford.
Oh, you were an outlaw, so you saw
Yeah.
Lance do a run in. Yeah. So
I've known Lance
was
since
gonna
he was
go
a
down.
year old.
okay, great. Well, I'll tell him that you said hi to him because I owe him a text back.
Sean, I got to preface
We're
this with, I should preface Kathy's introduction with, there's probably and I don't think I'm going out on a limb on this. There's not a professional wrestler alive that Kathy doesn't know.
Yeah.
Like she knows everybody.
Kathy, are there professional wrestlers alive that you wish you didn't know?
Yes.
Don't say me. You're not allowed to say me, Kathy.
Right.
I would never say you, Mo.
I know. I'm kidding.
At least not on
Kathy,
this
let me
show.
tell you something. Kathy, let me tell you something. If you were at that show at Oyster, let me just tell you, you would have been able to attest to that punch. It was. I was like, I couldn't believe, I couldn't believe it happened. I was just shocked. I couldn't.
Dude,
Was
did
it-
you get a black eye from it?
No, it was like caught me like right here,
Oh, he caught you on the
right at
side.
the temple.
Was it at the community center in Gloucester or
It was at the
Yeah,
what
where
is it, the
Super Crazy
Pine
runs.
Grove. Yes, and Kathy,
that's
we
where
used
Gus
Super
runs
Crazy.
his shows out of, Mozart. Gus runs his shows out of the same building.
Oh, gee, that's the building where I had to have Howard guard my car because I didn't want him to take my lug nuts in my tires, Kat. No, I'm just
Yeah, that's the kind of neighborhood it's in.
What's so funny
Well, it
about
was funny
that
because
venue?
somebody that was at your show called me and said, "Oh, this is the show in Gloucester. Is there any chance he could?" I mean, on my ball, it says "Oh, Bull goes, he's coming." I went, "Okay, never mind."
Yeah,
So Lance came in,
yeah. I mean,
did his
crazy-
run in, saw me,
Yep.
gave me the high five, walked around the ring afterwards, came over, hugged me, and this guy goes, "How do you know him?" And Lance goes, "She's known me since I was a year old."
you were probably
That's
watching
him
him
right
in the dressing
now.
room, huh, Kat?
I think I did babysit him a few times, Mozart.
Changing diapers. Yeah, she's the any role that you can. She's the Kathy. You're the nurse. You're the you're the water lady when Howard's thirsty. You won't give him any.
No, she's not. That's a lie. I've never gotten a water from Kathy in my life. I almost
said
died
when
of
you're-
thirst because of her.
When I said when you're thirsty,
I wish someone
she
got
won't
me a
give it to
water
you.
in life. Why did I get my own?
Yeah, if it were Sean, if it were
like
me,
that.
if it were anybody else, they would have gotten water. It was because it was you.
Anybody. It could have been a guy
Yeah.
off the street just walking by. Should have given him a bottle of
Yeah.
water. Anybody but me.
Exactly.
So what's crazy, Kathy, is what's crazy with Lance is like he's like such a good dude, right? Like
Yes.
when I was in Florida, I just got back from Florida like 2 weeks ago, but I was there. We have a house in Boynton Beach, but we were at the Disney World first, and so all brought the family and stuff like that. And then so one of the days everybody had a rest day. My oldest and I went to Universal, but then after that we met Lance at Popstroke in Winter Gardens, and we and we were just playing miniature golf. Like that's what we're doing.
Wow.
Do you know
It's just like-
his dad, Sam?
Hmm.
You know
you
Samu?
faded out. Oh, sorry,
You
Kathy.
faded out, Kathy. You broke up a little bit.
Do you know Samu?
I've never met him, but I know of him. Yes.
Yeah, great guy.
So, Kathy, I know we, I need a story. You texted me earlier about getting, dropping a name, and I'm going to kind of drop a bizarre name that we don't really talk about a whole lot and see if you can come up with a story. And that is the Honky Tonk Man.
Come on, Kath. Everybody knows Wayne.
Oh, he's a riot.
I know.
Well, Sherry, when he was working, Sherry was the original Peggy Phil.
Yes.
And he is, never driven him. No, I did. I did drive him for a couple shows. Very nice, very polite. Asked me how I knew everybody, and I told him, been around the business a long time. That was an obscure one. I didn't expect you to say him.
You had to have had dinner with Honky Tonk Man. He doesn't pay for dinner. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
He's always got a gimmick to get out of the restaurant.
All of a sudden,
Oh,
short
I know.
arms. I forgot my wallet. Oh, my wallet's in my other coat.
Yep.
So Sean,
There's a few people that way, Mozart. We know that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I see. I could never do that. I just never had
No.
I don't know. I guess I never had the nerve to do it. I was always afraid. Like I'll be the, I thought to myself, I'd be the guy that got arrested or got caught or blackballed or something. But yeah, I've never been with Honky Tonk to a restaurant. I've been on shows with him, but never been to a restaurant with him. But I've heard some amazingly funny stories about how he likes to get out of the. As a matter of fact, Simon Diamond's got some hilarious stories about being at restaurants with Honky Tonk, man.
So Sean,
great.
how much longer do you see yourself doing what you're doing? Do you have an end plan, or are you just going to ride this thing out?
Yeah, man, I want to beat up MJF and take the AEW. Just kidding, I don't want to do that. That's a Zilla
Make
thing.
the match.
That's this Friday. Let Zilla handle him this Friday at House of Glory. That's not my problem. I don't know. Listen, I don't have a goal. I don't have a goal to this. There's no end goal to this. I think I'm very calculated with with the matches I do or the things that I do, right? As to not do something that I think at 42 years old could hurt me too much, whereas I can't walk tomorrow or something along those lines. I would say I can do this until I get really hurt or my wife says it's enough or until people don't want me anymore. And all of those things, right? I think all of those things can happen. They can happen tomorrow. They can happen on Saturday. But apparently people like what I do, whether it's face or heel. My merch was like, for Gremlin House, was like the third most bought t-shirts. Maybe it's because all the people bought t-shirts that I know. I don't know. But in either case, I made back my money. In either case. And I don't see, it's hard to say, right? It's hard to say.
Right.
Taking bumps and stuff, there has to be a time frame. I will say, if anything else, and you all probably can attest to this. So when I first started this thought process of doing this, I was 240. I'm 204 right now, 203, sometimes pushing 199. So I will say that not wanting to be the fat guy in the ring. If my shirt did get ripped off, I don't want to be known as like the fat guy in the ring. So that definitely put me to get myself back into shape. So I'm at 42 years old as in shape as I was at probably 22. I think that's something to be said. But we all have a time frame, right? John Cena said that, right? John Cena and AJ Styles said that. And I think the answer to the question is, if it takes me with soccer, I knew. With soccer, I knew because it took me a week after like a really hard game or a really hard practice, like a week to recover. And I was like, so in wrestling at the same time, if it takes me a week to recover or something like that, where it's affecting my day-to-day life, then I'll peel back maybe from the moves. I could see this thing going on from a management perspective as long as somebody's willing to pay me and give me a storyline, right? Like I'm not someone that comes in, I don't ruffle feathers, right? Like I don't have creative control. Though in Gremlin, I have creative control. Let's be clear. But nowhere else do I have creative control. So I come in, I do my job. I help with the ring for the most part. That's not a Gremlin. I help everywhere else. And I don't see it changing for at least a year or 2, 3, 4 years from now. I don't know.
Wow.
Tomorrow.
That's cool.
Tomorrow.
And I like your excitement. I'm feeling the energy that you have for everything that you do. And it's no secret how, and I won't include Mozart, how I feel about what quote unquote the modern product that's, on mainstream television today. Honestly, I think it's dying on life support. I don't think it's very good. I'm not saying that they're not talented guys and girls. But it's not where it was that I remember watching. And maybe it's just because I'm old and grumpy and I've been watching it too long. I'm watching it 45 years. But I do believe that at the independent level is where this resurgence, is going to come from. And I love how you're talking about, the stories, and obviously with the story, it's kind of got to make sense, and it's got to kind of flow, and it could be, listen, something happened to me, back in December, but what's going to draw the people back is, what do they think is going to happen to me, or how am I going to retaliate in January, and keep bringing them guys back. And I think at the independent level, there's no better, product out there, especially here in New Jersey. And I don't think New Jersey gets the credit that it deserves for being a hotbed, of professional wrestling. A lot of young, talented stars, became old, talented stars, have either come through or started in New Jersey or right across the bridge in Philly. You mentioned the 2300 Arena. I was there a couple of times when it was the old 2300 Arena. And then I went back to Joel Goodhart's show back in May, the One and Done show. And the place is beautiful. It didn't look the same, but it still kind of felt the same. Like you could still feel like the history that was there. And of course there was a lot of guys that were part of the history were there. So you felt it. But I do love where, at least the independent wrestling that I'm watching and seeing,
you're not,
clips of online and stuff. I think you guys are going to be the rebirth of what kind of kicks the bigger promotions in the ass to say, listen, this is what's packing the houses at our level, and you guys need to start paying attention.
We appreciate that. I think you're not wrong in your assessment of the current product. I had this conversation today with somebody where I said, after WrestleMania 40, you have to follow up with great storylines. And in its current product, and I mean this all honestly, its current product, at least I can say for the past month or so, and probably before that, obviously, but like definitely for the last 2 weeks, I can 100% say this. Last 2 weeks, every Monday, every Friday, every Wednesday, every Thursday, every Tuesday, for the most part, I might catch 5 to 6 to 8 minutes of wrestling in between watching the Olympics, because nothing makes me want to see. When the Bloodline was at its peak, right, when it was running on full gear, you had to watch it. You had to be there to experience it. And
yes.
Now it's like, what? And look, here's the thing. I'm not someone that doesn't understand money and business. In my real job, I'm a vice president of sales and business development, right, for a marketing company. Like, I understand business. But I will say it is glaring what TKO has turned this into. And it's unfortunate, right? There's zero reason to go back to Vegas this year. This is not WrestleMania 4 and 5 when you can run it back in Atlantic City, right, where there's that hotbed. It's not. And that's why the ticket sales are suffering. Ticket sales are suffering because the first time Vegas should go, yeah, let's go to Vegas. Then it's like, man, we went to Vegas. We got no money left. New Orleans would have packed that place. We wouldn't even have a conversation, right? I happen to be going to Saudi in 6 weeks. I'm going to Riyadh. I wanted to check out the WWE facility. I understand the business end of things. But whether it's Saudi or London or Italy, the product is hot elsewhere because they're not getting it. We get it Monday through Sunday. And you have it Monday through Sunday, you got to have it hot. It's as cold as, what do they say? It's as cold as September and during the Vince era, right? Like that kind of like the reset period, right? Right. Yeah. Cold. I would say cold, right? Cold right between Survivor Series and SummerSlam, where like shit wasn't really happening, right?
Right.
And like it was kind of like the takeoff time period, and that's what it feels like to me. And it sucks.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I miss anything. I don't feel like I miss anything in AEW. And listen, I was the biggest AEW supporter since 2019. For the first year, there probably wasn't many shows I missed, as in physically attended, like up and down the East Coast, right?
Wow.
Up and down the East Coast, because to me, it was a and again, I have friends there, but you know, I was at the Temple University, right? I was at the Rock. I was at DC when it was first there. I went to all of these shows all the time. I drove out to Long Island because the idea behind AEW in its inception was, man, you never knew who was going to show up. It was so new, and WWE
Right.
was so bad at that. And now we're in a situation where it's like you said, the product is just not exciting right now. The only reason why it's exciting is people are retiring. And so there's a cause to want to watch John Cena's last match or to watch John Cena bring back his legends. AJ Styles, even though I'm pretty sure he's still not retired. Like, let's be clear here.
Yeah, I'm not fully convinced he's retired either.
Want to see him pop up in TNA probably somewhere. Let's be clear. But I look at these things and I'm like, it's sad. And hopefully independent wrestling will at least put some more eyes on it. But also, I hope that independent wrestling doesn't also take the brunt of the product, the bigger products being so stale that it's like,
right,
we'll just get back to it in a few years.
Yeah, I don't, and this is just from me as a fan, because I've never been in the ring, don't want to be, don't care to be, none of that.
Until
you want to take a cutter from me off the top rope.
No, but Mozart has graciously offered to suplex me, and I graciously turned him down.
It's not hard.
Because I don't want to. But to me, if
Can
I'm
I drop you?
Go ahead.
What's that, Kathy? Kathy, he'll take a suplex from you through the.
No, I just want to chop him.
Chop.
Yeah.
Oh, she wants
Okay,
to chop?
that'll hurt.
I'll hold
Yeah,
it.
no.
Chop's
No.
hurt.
But
Yeah,
I
what's
think
the answer to how do you fake
The
those
best
chops?
advice in the whole world. A chop hurts. A chop is the best way I can describe it to you is if I was to pinch you very hard for about
1,000
5
times.
seconds. Right? And it's yeah.
Well, and also,
yeah, that's not something I want to experience.
it's also who taught you how to chop.
Yeah.
Now, I was taught by Sherry and Kevin Sullivan.
There
Yeah,
you go.
no, it's all right.
No, but
I'll be all right.
here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. It's always about who teaches you as well. Because if you were taught by like a luchador, right,
Mhm.
you're dead. Because what they do
Yep.
is it's not this.
No, it's over here.
This.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's this. And I remember
Well-
my first chop, I wasn't even wrestling. It was Lance Archer who chopped me.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I was walking back. Right, and Kathy, you know Lance, how big Lance Archer is. He's like what, 6'7", like
6'6".
massive hands. And I'm walking backstage at ROH at Mania Weekend on 40. And again, not a wrestler, just a fan. Happy to be with one of my very best friends from school is a producer for AEW. And we're backstage and we're saying hi to people. We're just messing around back there. And Lance is like chopping people. And I'm like very quickly, I was like, oh, how come I can't get one? And he didn't even think twice about it. Like, it was like, whack. And I was like, kept going, kept moving forward. Right, kept saying hi to people, and my buddy was with me and my daughter too, and they're looking at me, and I'm just like, keep moving, and I'm like, my laser focus forward, and I go sit in the front row. They make seats for us next to Mark Briscoe's family, and my friend looks at me and goes, how do you feel? I go, that hurts so fucking bad. That's so bad. It's so bad.
There's no way around it. Yeah. Well, you know, you were talking earlier about, wrestling. There's a couple of things I think that are. There's a lot of things but there's a couple of major things that are causing the decline. The first thing, like you said, is the oversaturation. There's no fan that can possibly, on a consistent level, give 10 to 12 hours a week to watch wrestling. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not students,
100%.
not kids, not people our age. And also it's not compelling enough to keep them even if they had the time. But the other problem is, let's use chops for example. I just Howard knows this. I I hated following social media, and I wasn't watching wrestling for a bit because I was still involved in it, and I was just I'm not interested. I got a lot of friends. I appreciate what they're doing. I try to pop on, see their matches, but there's a here's a poignant thing. I read the other day that someone was saying that the hardest chop they took on, and it was WWE, was Penta. No shit. Nobody else should chop. I don't care who you are. Like, if you're that good at it and that's your thing, that's the thing, is everybody is using the same moves. And there's one or two guys that are doing really well. Everybody else should stop.
Him and Gunther
should stop them. Yes, exactly.
Him and
they
Gunther,
should just
I call it
stop.
Gunther chop, yeah.
That's a hard thing to watch from a wrestling
Kathy,
standpoint.
Kathy, what do you think? What do you think? Because you've seen it, right? And like, if I was to say to you, like, how many Canadian destroyers, i.e., pile drivers, like that used to be a sacred move, and how many now the Bucks and everything like that, it's every freaking 5 seconds, and you're getting out of those things, which you shouldn't.
Hell, now they're not even registering them; they're just standing up from them.
No,
Yeah.
they're not.
You
They're
don't even
not.
get a
There's no
1 count.
selling. No selling.
Yeah.
Sean, I missed who you said. Who's your friend that's one of the producers?
I was saying, like, you've been around, like look at, think back then, and like the simple pile driver that's now overly abused in AEW. It's like it's not even sold anymore.
No, Sean, you said one of your friends is a producer for AEW. Who's that?
Oh, QT Marshall, Mike.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm good friends with Ray Lloyd.
It's QT. Okay, I know.
Okay, yeah. So
I'm good
QT and I
friends
went
with
to
Glacier.
Oh, great. Yeah. So when they were all building their school together, I was like, kind of like, I like gave him advice.
QT's got to be
website,
cringing
like,
watching all that stuff go on too. That's what I always wonder. The guys that are producing and working backstage, like, why are they not stopping that? Because you can turn on a show
I don't
and
think
see
they have
87.
a choice.
Okay.
I don't
That's
think
what I
they,
was
listen,
wondering.
All right. I don't think they have a choice. With QT, like, I mean, QT, we grew again. We went to school together, elementary school together. His mom was at my first daughter's baby naming, right? So that's kind of the situation. And in fact, he went to Turkey first. And then I went to Turkey second. And MJF went third, apparently, because that's a beautiful head of hair MJF has right now. Let me tell you. And very nice. And I think it's that. Listen, I think that I think that there's a certain people in charge, right? And I think that it's their way of the highway. Without putting my foot in my mouth, because I'm ever going to wrestle at AEW in my life, but I'm just saying, like, ever in my life, right? But I'm just going to say,
you don't burn any bridges for us, man, for sure.
I'm not a bridge. Not. I'll simply say this. I think that the allure for AEW is gone, and so they have to come up with other things. But I also think that the same regime that caused all of us to watch, and the 1 million people every Wednesday to watch, aren't the same people now that are there, and so they have their own mindsets. And I think that's the same for TNA. I think that's the same for WWE. Tommy Dreamer and I had a conversation, very brief, at the American Dream All, the GCW show. I was working, just helping their team, like, do some stuff. I wasn't on camera or anything like that, but I mean, it might have been a cameo. But I was helping in the back with them. We're talking just really quickly because we're talking about our daughters and how I was in production for their Slammiversary show. Saw his daughter do the national anthem. We're talking about our daughters and like how cool it is to see them do certain things. And we got to talk about wrestling for a little bit. And he's like, if you don't have storytelling, no matter what happens, you don't have anything.
Right.
And or you just have a bunch of matches for matches. And I think in the beginning of AEW, that was really cool because, all of us, we'd never seen this before. Oh my God, this person versus this person, this is unbelievable. And now that allure has lost itself, and it sucks. But I think when Mike's QT's doing with what he's doing on the side, he's an entrepreneur like I've never, like I'm gonna say I've never seen, but he's got a great mind for business. He has a great mind for the business as a whole as wrestling, but just business in general. What he was able to do before Cody got involved with the Nightmare Factory, right when it was the One Fall Factory, it enabled him to get the buy-in from Brandy and Cody, and I think what they did was great. And then he was able to do what he's doing right now in Georgia right now with One Fall, bringing One Fall back and helping out. I think he's got a great mind for the business. He's amazing.
Right. But circling back to your concern about the independent scene kind of suffering repercussions because of what's happening on a national level. Me as a fan, I think from my perspective is if I'm not getting what I want to see on television, from the comfort of my own home, I'm going to go looking. And, social media has been great on the independent scene. And if I see something like, oh, there's something about that guy, or that match or even that promotion that I want to go see, I'm going to go see him. I'm going to go out and find it. And the only way to find it is at the independent level. And again, that's coming just from a fan's point of view, because I want my old school wrestling back. And it doesn't have to be, the same type of wrestling, but I've said on the show probably a million times, it's got to make sense and it's got to look real. If they don't do those two things, I don't want to watch it. I mean, I watch the mainstream product, semi-regularly, and if I can, and it's glaring, if I can see, a missed spot, the boys in the back saw it, and probably long before I saw it. Like, like, oh, he's going to miss. I see it when he misses, but it's so like almost like they phoned it in. Like, okay, I got my contract, I'm good. Now I don't have to work as hard. I don't have to be as hungry, anymore because I signed a multi-year deal or whatever. I want guys to to give a damn and to try. Like, just give me your best. And I believe that's what you get at the independent level, is these guys are out there busting their asses on a Saturday, Sunday, Friday, whatever night they're doing it. And you go home like, wow, that was a really good show, and I still have a little bit of money left in my pocket because it didn't cost me a fortune to sit anywhere in the building, where they were performing that night.
I looked at and you're right. I looked at so SummerSlam weekend. I was fortunate enough to work to help all the GCW shows and even the WWE ID show. Kind of just helped them out and stuff like that. Did the ring and or little security, and I had there's no aspirations. I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna go with GCW. First off, absolutely not, right? Not my body, no. But I looked at my first time ever seeing Alec Price and Jordan Oliver, right? My first time. And they were wrestling with Marcus Mathers, and Marcus and I have known each other now for a bit because we worked the same shows and we were Gremlin a bunch of times. So like seeing these two guys, and I was like, man, these guys can go. And the first thing I said was, Gremlin, you need to book these two guys, mainly because I just want to talk to them. Like, I just want to bro, like, I saw this show. I don't ever do this or say you easily. I said I had to have seen at least 30 matches that weekend, right? With SummerSlam both nights, and I said your 6-man tag match with Vanity Project was the match I thought of the weekend. And like you said, from a mainstream perspective, I would never have seen that if I was just going to SummerSlam or something along those lines. Right. And I saw that and I saw Alec and Jordan, and we split them up so they can wrestle individually. And they put them together like it's like the Gremlin shows. And I'm like, this is like I thought they were amazing. What? Lo and behold, now they're signed with AEW. And it's like, and they wrestled FTR like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. And it's like, and you don't see that passion, that level of passion that you see that sometimes on the independent scene. You have a mixture, man. You have a mixture. You have the people that want to do this, and then the people that just want to check. And then there's someone like me who's just like, what do you want me to do? Right?
Right.
Like, I'm not like, right? I'm not gonna take it, right, what do you want me to do? I'm not going to take a chair shot to the face, but you would hit me in the back with it. That's cool. Like,
Right.
we want to like find me a person. I can either hug them or punch them. Like, I'm cool. Like, whatever. Like, there's someone like me out there. I don't think there's many of me because I think that there's those two things. I think that there's the people that like are collecting the money, right? They're living off their name, right? And that's drawing tickets. Don't get me wrong. It's booking the house. Let's be clear here. And then you have the people like the people like Jordan Oliver and Alec Price, like your Devious Cass and your Malik Devantes, like your Tommy Invincibles, even though he always thinks that he's like going to wrestle Randy Orton or somebody like that, which he doesn't ever. But it's another issue. But those guys, right? Those guys are busting their butts to get to where they need to go. And I think if you have a bunch of those guys and a mixture of those, you have a good situation.
when you're out doing the shows, how do you determine? It kind of got me thinking while you were talking. You do a lot of you said hardcore, but it's really you're doing a lot of like how do I put it? Because it's still hard on your body, but how do you determine what you can do safely and still be able to go home and hang out with your daughter and your son and your wife, but still make it entertaining for the crowd and not, because again, our job is to blur that line. They should be thinking that you're on your way to the hospital, although let's hope that's not legitimately the case.
Well, sometimes no. No, I think that.
Well, if it involves somebody punching you in the eye, then you know.
Right.
It's fucking. I tell you, let me tell you.
I'm gonna go find
Kathy,
that
I gotta
too.
tell you, Kathy, if you show up, if this guy shows up on March 21st, I'm dragging you over to the guy. Go, this is the guy. That's the guy. That's the guy.
Well, unfortunately, I'll be
He's
up at the
gonna be like,
big
"I'm the guy."
event
I'm
and
gonna be like,
House
"Punch
of Glory.
Kathy." Are you gonna be House of Glory? Everybody's going to the damn show.
Yeah, Red is my shoot grandson, so I promised him I'd be at the show.
Okay, there you go. They're like killing me. They're killing me because they want me to go to the show on Friday night, and I was like, guys, I can't like go to that show and then be in the show the next day. Like my kids will, my wife will kill me. But like, so answer the question. You know, I think that when I first did it, I was really like in my mind, kind of like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And when I started to feel it and understand it and understand how to take a proper bump, right? Like, so I always tell people, I set up the ring, not because I like, you know, not because I like trying to suck up or anything like that. I set up the ring to get the extra time period to learn something, right? I don't want to like,
the
you
ring
know,
before you were actually out in front of the crowd. You were able to get in the ring and feel it out and everything.
Not that March show, but from that last March show on, working with like Titan and stuff like that. Every time we set up a ring, I'm in the ring, and I'm not doing something anything crazy, but I'm just doing something else to see if I can do it, right? Like a power slam. Right? Taking a power slam. Forget about giving. Wrestling is built on selling. You can learn the other part easily. The wrestling is built on selling. Sell. And so I was like, can I take a power slam? And then the guy I was with, he was like, do you trust me? I go, well, I guess I don't have a choice. Like, what do you want me to do? And,
well, if he asks if you trust him, then you probably shouldn't.
Right. Put a hand here, and he goes, when I go, just hit the ground. I go, all right. He's like, was that bad? I go, nah, it was nothing. He's like, yeah, but you got to sell it. And I was like, okay, you're right. Do it again.
Right.
And like,
right.
Right. And I'm like, okay. And I'm starting to understand the psychology. I'm like, okay, like ring post. Can I do a ring post? Can someone throw me in a ring post safely? Well, I'm probably going to quickly put my hand up. Okay. So let me try it real quick. boom, boom. The kendo stick, right, happened before I was even able to take a kendo stick. Like, let me see if it like really hurts. Like if it really hurts, I would never have like done it. And so there are things that I won't do. I know because I don't know if I can tuck my chin in fast enough to do it. I.e., a power bomb is something I will not attempt to do. And if someone says like power bomb, I go, no. They're like, well, why? I said, choke slam, something where I can tuck down this way so that I'm not going like this. I was like, because I don't have enough I'm not going to make you upset that I'm hurting myself, nor am I going to make myself hurt. And so that I'd never taken a punch before, had zero idea, got in the ring in October in Hoboken, New Jersey, before the show, when we're going over what we want to do, one of the guys was like, I'm going to punch you. And I'm like, I'd rather you didn't. and he's like, let me show you how it's done. I said, okay.
Cool.
And he goes, as I go, you kind of just come with me, but I just actually don't do it. Just make the sound. And I was like, really? He was like, yeah. And it worked out perfectly. And I dropped to my knees. Right. And then I started getting beat up with a kendo stick again, because my life is nothing but getting beat up with kendo sticks. But like, which I'm really good at, apparently. And so those are the kind of things that I do. And I don't like, I'm not going to go on a ladder, right? Like there's supposed to be a ladder match in Gremlin. And I was like, even just setting up the belt, I'm good. Like something could go wrong, like really bad, like not even in the match. I could fall off a ladder. Like, let's be clear here. Let's be crystal clear. But like chairs are okay. Because I've taken like those chairs. Obviously, doors, hollow doors are okay. But I'm not going to take even though he's super safe, I'm not going to take a gore through a door because Rhino is going at me at full speed. And so like, I don't know how to stop that situation. And that's not practicable at all. Like, that's not like, come practice this on me. Because like, I don't want to practice it. I don't want to do it. And so I look and I watch, and I think being in the business now, and it's crazy again for me to even say that, right? Being in the business now, I'm watching everything. So I'm watching all the stuff, how they set it up, and I'm watching how they do it, and I'm paying attention to all the little things, and I know what I can't do. I'm not getting in the ring with Matt Tremont, right, from GCW, because he'll make you bleed. He's got weapons that are these squares that he can attach to your head and just bleed. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't need to bleed.
Yep.
Right? I'm blood pills. I've done blood pills, right? Like where like I've been like in October, I took a punch, a couple kendos. I bit down a blood pill. I reached for my family because we're acting, right? I reached for my family and I'm blood pouring down my mouth. And no one knows it's fake. I do, because if it was real, we'd have problems.
Right.
So those are the kind of things that I do, try to do those things. And I think actually the organizations do a very good job of understanding that. And the wrestlers, for the most part, would never put me in a situation that would cause me harm.
So you're not looking forward to taking a spear from somebody like Braun Breaker, probably.
In fact, if I was to ever be within 10 feet of him running around, I'm in the wrong place. Like, I'm in the wrong place. I'm in the wrong place, right? Because I'm talking about even ringside, right?
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Because that's not safe enough, right? Because he'll go right through. He don't care.
Right.
You got to run. You go too fast. You're too fast for your own good, and that's why you're injured. Like, he doesn't have a you know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of a young Brock Lesnar. Like one speed. It reminds me of Goldberg, like, but a better version. But like it reminds me of Goldberg, one real speed, right? I think in wrestling, Kathy, you guys probably all could probably attest to this. I think sometimes it's okay to slow it down, right? sometimes it's okay to slow it down. And when you're in a match, you don't have to go 175 miles an hour the entire match. Listen to the crowd, adapt to the crowd. Sometimes you call that on the fly, right? And see what they're liking, what they're not liking. And yeah, of course, they love all the crazy stuff, but you don't want to be blown up in the ring. I've seen people, and again, who am I to speak about this, right? But I have seen people when I've been in matches completely gassed after like 8 or 9 minutes. And I'm just like literally. Yeah. Well, that was Sandy.
Yeah,
that was.
I've seen that.
Like, I was like, what is he doing? He looks tired. He's about to hit me with a kendo stick. Okay, fine. Like, and yeah, and I think if you slow it down, you're able to understand it. Like the Boston Crab, the figure 4 leg lock, right? Like sharpshooter. Like use these things that I have. By the way, I have no problems taking. And use them to reset yourself and to get yourself in a situation where you're able to listen to the crowd. What are they liking? Like, have time to look at the crowd. Are they leaving? Are they coming back to their seats? You know, you have to amp it up a little bit. Like, I don't know that much, right? Because again, I've been in the ring that long, but I knew enough when I'm in that Sandman situation to listen to the crowd and know that they were a little upset over the structure of the match, and to get them to a high that I needed to take them on, well, I need to do something. And so let's take a cutter that I've never taken, but I just got to lie flat on the receiving of it. Okay, no problem. I can probably do that. And then listen to, on the ground, listen to them go, oh, yeah, great. Okay, great. So now we've turned quietness to them hating me. This is lovely. Okay, I'm about to get choke slammed. This is great. Like, okay, we hear them again. I'm laying on the ground by myself. No one's around me. Are they loving that? They're cheering it. Okay, maybe I should get up and I should wobble a little bit in my mind, right? Let's get. And then I'm just gonna scream out, "Did I win? No, you suck. You suck. Oh, this is great. This is great. Okay, I'm gonna fall out of the ring because like they are loving this. I'm gonna look at all of them and go, screw all you. I'm going to Robbinsville. Like. That hit, right? Because I'm listening to the crowd, and I think that if more people listen to the crowd, they'll be able to tell you exactly where you need to go and what you can and can't do.
Right. No, and I like your thought process on slowing down, because I think, again, from a fan's perspective, it's moving way too fast, and we don't process everything that we see, and I think it's in everybody's mindset now to, everything's, got to be high impact, a high spot. It's got to be all of it. No, it doesn't. That high spot should be that, oh, wow, like, wow. And you shouldn't pop right back up from, because my brain still hasn't processed that you've taken a Canadian destroyer yet, but yet you're popped up and giving the guy the lariat. I'm like, wait, hold on. I'm 2 moves behind you, man. Like, for me, slow down. Let me process what's happening so I can react to it.
Well, some of that's unrealistic too. I mean, you're not going to get racked around in some of these moves and get right back up. So some of it, for me, I'm watching. I roll my eyes and I got to go get some tea. But I tell you, one of the early things that I had learned was that slowing down is very important. Tim Kettner used to push that concept a lot when we were training under him, and Glenn and Simon Diamond. But Ace Darling told me one time, Ace was just a master of the chin lock. Ace will tell you, you don't want the crowd to dictate, as you were saying. It's a perfect example where you're going. We want to take them on that ride. They can to a degree, because you're following them, but you really should be taking them on the ride. So he said, don't be afraid to slow down. And he's talking to a group of us, and, it might have been me, because I was, a question asker. I'm like, but what if we don't need a rest spot? What if we don't need to take a rest? He's like, no, man, it's not for you. It's for the crowd, Right. And that was one of the coolest things that somebody had ever said. It's not for me, it's for the crowd. Because I'm like, yeah, I'm in shape.
I think it's for the boys.
I can,
fuck that. So what? It's for the boys too. It's for the boys too. Because you guys. I think so. It's for the boys.
And Ace's favorite saying: "Don't touch the hair."
Yeah. Or you know what he would say? Tell us
I
too,
think
Kath, because Jim would a lot of times put Ace in charge of the battle royals, and we'd all do a battle royal. Ace would be like, and well, Jim would walk out of the room saying, and nobody laughs. Like, I need this to be serious. Okay, cool, got you, yeah, got you, boss. You get in the ring, and there's Ace tickling everybody. Come on, man, we're gonna get fired. Stop tickling me.
I love the break. So two things. So number one, I think a lot of it also the slowdown should be for the boys, because if you create such a hot fire paced situation, right, where because I think wrestling, I think a pay-per-view, PLE, whatever you want to call it, should take people on a roller coaster ride, emotion, right?
Of course.
Bring them up, bring them down. And I think a match should do that too, right? And if you don't, if you're at one level and you're high the whole time and you've exhausted the crowd, because I said listen to the crowd, you exhausted the crowd, then the match afterwards doesn't give its just due. Right? It needs to give its match a just due. And by slowing down, it does that. You made me point about the tickling. One of the things I do at Titus sometimes, I don't do this all the time.
Is that your
one of the things I do?
Everybody.
I have zero offense. First off, let's be clear. I did throw some knees and obviously hit people with briefcases on January 10th. But
there you go.
I think that. So what I did once was this was in November. We're doing a promo in the beginning of the show, and I have like 3 segments in the show. Again, me 3 segments? Are you kidding me? Whatever. Great. Awesome. Okay. And we're doing an interview, and one of the guys' name's Michael Fain. Kathy, you know Michael?
I'm sorry?
Michael, you know Michael Fain? You know Michael Fain?
Yes.
Okay, good. So Mike, great guy, right? So I told Mike, I said, I'm going to break you in the middle of this segment. And he goes, no, you're not. I go, I swear to God I am. He's like, all right. So we're in this segment, and he comes out to confront me. And I'm with myself, the owner of Titan Wrestling, and Titan, he's talking to Michael. And I'm standing next to Michael. Michael has on his wrestling trunks, right? And the short trunks. And as the owner's talking to Michael, I just whisper in his ear, I can see your pee-pee. Like, very quick, nothing crazy. And I get back to my serious face, and you just see him biting down on his face. And I'm looking at him, and I'm going in the corner and going on the ring rope, watching him sitting there, and I'm just looking at the crowd because I can't look at him because I'm laughing so hard. And so after we get to the back, and he's like, I cannot. I was like, I told you. And then at intermission, his fans are yelling at me that I should have put him in this Rumble. You should put Mike in the Rumble. You don't know what you're talking about. And then Mike's like, God. You should do that too. And I just look at him and I go, nipples. And he just starts dying. And he's like, you're not taking this shit seriously. And I was like, Mike, it's not that. It's just like, you're such an easy target to to just do this to. And I was like, because I like you so much, like you're a friend. So we should have fun with this. Again, it's just me having fun. Like, I wouldn't do that to bigger name person, like in a serious promo. Or in a situation where everything is so serious, like Unreal and all the companies I think look, unfortunately, this is not 1982 anymore, unfortunately, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody knows it's predetermined. Unless you're a little kid, and that's a whole different story. We all know it's predetermined. We all know that people they say like each other sometimes, but they have relationships. And so for me to just kind of turn him a little bit, and he texted me. He's like, I swear to God. He goes, do not do this on Saturday. I was like, I'm not even involved. And he's like, you're definitely involved in the heavyweight title match. And I was like, okay, maybe I am. And he goes, no. And I was like, okay, I won't. I was like, but that moment I did because it was hilarious. If I kept doing it, it wouldn't be as fun.
I mean, sometimes you got to have a little fun, right?
You got to have a little fun.
I think it depends on the seriousness of the angle, what the story is, and and sometimes it's a good training exercise. Like, hey, don't break. You can't do it in this situation where we're doing a 10-guy pull apart. It's a fight. it's got to present that. But I think I think that I love working with guys who are have that sense of humor.
Yeah, no, and you gotta
I
have
think
fun.
it's fun.
It is
Right.
fun. It is fun. Like there's so many times where, well, I used to have really, really, really long hair, and it was, all in my, Jimmy Garvin, all in my face. So it's easy enough for me to just take a punch or a kick and let the hair go down, and I could kind of get the giggle out of my system, and then throw my hair back, and then I'm
Right.
show the angst or whatever. But once the hair came off, it was I had to hold it together sometimes. I'm like, oh my
I close
God,
my
this is
eyes.
great.
I close my eyes sometimes if I'm like getting beat up or something like that. And like I close my eyes and I go like this. And everybody's like, "Oh, you're so hurt." And I'm like, "Yeah, I really am."
Yeah,
Like,
that's so funny. I was like, man, I'm so blown away. You have one of the most unique stories I've ever heard. And getting into physical in ring action. It's one thing to be, on the ring as a manager and get a little bit involved, but to kind of evolve it into to actually getting into the full on matches is really unique. And, especially, like you were saying at your age. Now, you mentioned that you were doing pro soccer. Did you come out of that uninjured,
yeah.
or did you come out with anything? Okay, good.
Yeah, I did. It's crazy. So,
Yeah.
I
Well, you
came
hear a
out
lot
of
about
uninjured.
ACL injuries and
Yeah.
ankle injuries, and
No,
my
no, no. It
sister-in-law plays
happened.
soccer.
It happened.
Yeah.
It happened. But it
Hmm.
didn't actually happen while I was playing. So
Oh, good.
I
Yeah.
was coaching. Yeah, I was coaching at Kane University as their goalie coach in 2009,
Hmm.
and I was just instructing a drill in goal because I was a goalie. So in goal, instructing a drill, and the forward just happened to clip my back heel when I was sending a ball, flipped me over. I heard a pop, and I knew, like,
No,
because I
man.
coached high school
Yeah.
before that. I coached high
Yeah.
school before that, so I kind of knew. And like I blew out ACL, MCL, and PCL, and I'd already been retired, right? And I could still
You did the
go, right?
whole.
I could still dive
You just
around
knocked it all out at one time.
the whole thing,
Wow.
the whole thing.
Hmm.
And what was crazy was I I was like laughed about it, right? Because it's like I can't believe that happened then. But I knew I was as I rehabbed and stuff. Um, I was just a step slower, and I knew that. And I was already retired; it had already been like 4 years. But even for me to like, sometimes I would do some spots on some like smaller semi-pro teams, might pay like
Yeah.
$100 a game type stuff,
Hmm.
and I knew I couldn't do that anymore. And even now, what's interesting is remember I started when I told you guys like, I was like 240.
Yeah.
I had developed like grade 4 arthritis, whatever, in my right knee.
Oh,
Was getting
wow.
cortisone shots and stuff like that, like every 3 months or so. I haven't had a cortisone shot in probably 8 months, 6 to 8 months or so. And I haven't felt that I have needed one. And that's because I've got myself in better shape and thus take
Hmm.
all the weight and problems off the right leg. Because, like we all know, as we got older, like we're going to have nagging
Yeah.
injuries. And I think that my body from soccer, the 2 days in college, and
Yeah.
uh, and sometimes the 3 days, right? And it wears on me. And the MRIs, and they were like, you really got like a 60-year-old knee, but you're too young for
Jeez.
like a knee replacement. Yeah, and
Right.
so like I was
Wow.
like, all right, cool. Let's just treat it with treat it with shots, and then they're like, okay, try not to do something crazy. Let's wrestle, right? Like, so
Yeah.
let's
Exactly.
get a wrestle.
Well, but the controlled environment of a professional wrestling, although it can be, it's dangerous. You're always taking a risk. You put your body at risk. I think that's what brings some of the athletes from other sports into pro wrestling, because it's more of a controlled environment. You have a lot of football players that maybe weren't going to be able to stay on their college team and their NFL team because of an injury. but they can come and do pro wrestling because you put a knee brace on, you're in a controlled environment, and it's a little bit safer, until they get into it and they see the 300-day a year grind when they get that big contract, right? Or at least that's what it used to be. It's not anymore.
That's yeah.
It used to
Yeah.
be. Now it's like a 30-day grind, right? Now that you
I
Yeah.
know.
30 days
Well, you
out.
know what? I got to be honest with you. This hurts my heart. And Kathy, I wanted to talk to you about this too. I understand that these guys are out on the road, but for the money that they're making, they're doing way too little.
Oh.
I mean, just
Yeah.
even in matches, I'm like, you are making way too much money to do nothing in that match and to work 1 or 2 days a week. You got-
Yeah. Not
I
nine
mean,
times a week, twice a week.
I hate to say it. I'm not one of those guys, and I never worked, full time on the road, right? That was never my goal. And that's why, because I didn't want to be on the road like that. And, but now you're making millions and millions of dollars to make, let's face it, some of them, 10, 12 appearances a year, it's like, wow,
Yeah.
10, 12 appearances a year, 8% in t-shirt sales, first class accommodations.
Right.
wow.
It's
Cool
listen, the
for
only
them,
thing,
but I think
Yeah.
you're not given. I think that it's unfair of any company, but especially say WWE, the ticket prices that they're asking to give fans that little. Seriously,
Yeah.
I think one of the hardest, well, if they're giving 5 matches and 5 matches, a 3-hour show, and 2 hours and 35 minutes of it is commercials. And and what's tough is as well, I think their roster has so many people on it, yet you don't have any more house shows to refine your craft, right? Like,
Right.
again, like I tell this to even like the one of the promoters, and Gremlin is a wrestler too, and sometimes he wrestles, and I was like, dude, like you should like get in the ring with me, just mess around, right? Like just like hone whatever you're doing. Like on Saturday, one of the first things I do when the ring's built is by the way, I would never do this in like a match ever. I would never even use a turnbuckle, right? Like I would never jump on, but I jump onto the top because I'm old.
Mhm.
But I make sure that I bounce from the bottom, from literally the
Yeah.
seating position into the second rope and stand there and kind of look around, right? And I just do that to make sure that I turn and I jump down and do a couple things, and I make sure that I can still do that. But I told him that I'm like, yo, like just bounce around a little bit because you don't want to be stiff or pull a muscle or anything like that. And I think that when you have these non 300 days anymore, you cannot really help in your craft. You can't work.
Mhm.
You can't work on a new character. You can't work on anything. You have to pitch it to the powers that be, and they have to trust you to do it because there's no spot in presenting it anytime.
Right.
And then you run into something in situations like, and I love Chelsea Green. I think she's the sweetest person. I've met her a few times. I think she's the sweetest person in the whole wide world. But she's not working a full time, and so she's getting hurt more because of it. Like I think there's a lot of
Yeah.
them like that. I haven't
It's across
seen
the board,
this many injuries. Right. I haven't seen this many injuries since WrestleMania 32.
It's across the
Right.
board, and also it's also the style too. It's like you're not working a lot to stay active, and then you go out and do honestly crazy stuff. When you do go out there, it's like, yeah, that's it blows my mind. Hey, Kath,
Why people don't respect Gunther?
What's that?
People don't respect
I didn't hear
Gunther.
you.
They don't respect his style. They don't respect this Gunther's style of wrestling, and I think Gunther's style is the safest style.
I'm kind of mixed on him. I'm not crazy about his
What?
footwork. I think his foot. I'll say it publicly for the first time. I'd retrain him. I think his footwork. I think he's all over the place. I've seen him out of position a lot, and I'm like, man, that when I was trying to get on TV would have never flown. They tell you flat out.
What did he say? Oh, he said he wants to chop you. How many chops?
I mean, I've taken
7?
harder chops than he. Listen, I've been in the ring with Low-Ki. I've taken way harder chops than he.
Oh, Low-Ki.
Bro.
Oh, Low-Ki.
Yeah.
Low-Ki's chops. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Key and I are good friends, though. I mean, I respect the hell out of Key, and he's always been great to me. But no, I I think, and that's just my personal opinion. Like I trained kids for years, so when I see stuff like that going on TV, I'm like, okay, so I don't even want to know what this guy is making, and you got to get back to the center of the ring, dude, because you're all over the place. Yeah, Kath, but I wanted to ask you though, when you were, because I know you did some travel, you did a lot with Sherry, but with like
Yeah.
Kevin Sullivan, for example.
Yeah.
I guess I'm curious because they had full-time schedules. They were, I'll just throw a number out, 300 day a year, working wrestlers. There was a lot of on-the-job training, but I guess I'm kind of mixed on. I had this conversation with Sean Royal a few months back. Kathy knows Sean. I don't know if you know Sean
Yeah.
Royal, but Sean, I know Kathy, you do, but Sean, we were talking about it. He's like, I think you see a lot of the sloppiness on TV because they don't get the reps in. And I'm like, okay, but I only do like 5 shows a year now, and I don't ever look that bad when I'm out there. I gotta be honest with you. You know what I mean? What when you were back on the road with with the I hate to say old school, but the generation before
Yeah.
us, how did they view that? Like, if you weren't working a lot, did they make sure they got you to the towns to work, or were they just like, look, you've got to go get crisp, like get to a school, get to a training center? I mean, did you ever have any conversations like that with any of those folks?
No, a lot
Or
of the
hear
guys,
them?
a lot of everybody would say, if they weren't working a lot, they would get to the buildings early and go over things constantly.
Okay, so they were getting it in. They were basically on the job training. They were there early and going over.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
but like, like the vets, like Sherry and Kevin.
Mhm.
I mean, Sherry could call a match and work a broom and make it look good,
Oh, I know. Yeah,
And another
I've seen
guy,
her do. Mhm.
Bart Gunn.
Yeah.
I saw him wrestle his son when I think Gage was like 4 or 5. And it was an incredible match. It was hysterical.
Wow.
And this
That's
little
cool.
4-year-old was doing moves, and Bart was doing everything. It was great. I said, I wish I had taped this thing back then.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great.
That's
But guys, I
crazy.
think we got to start, winding it down a little bit.
It's past Howard's bedtime.
It's definitely past my bedtime. Anything past like 7:30 now, like when we literally started, is past my bedtime.
Dude, the worst thing. The worst thing is when you have like set things you want to watch at home, right? You want to watch certain things, but by the time you get to your bedroom, it's like 9 o'clock, and you're like, "Oh, put this on." Ah, shit.
And yep,
Oh,
and you
man,
go right out. Yeah.
That was me actually on Saturday night a few weeks ago. I was like, it was like 8:30, and I was like actively like, I think I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah.
I don't even know what was going on.
Yeah. But Sean, I appreciate your
like,
time.
You were in bed last night at 9:30, and I was like, "You goddamn right I was."
Right. But
you're like,
but
listen,
thank
I
you
went
for
to
coming
a table.
on.
I got punched in the eye by a fan. I'm getting hit with kendo sticks.
Dude, I walked into my house like 17 boxes of Mountain Dew. That's how I felt, right? And my wife is, after the match, like I hung out afterwards. Everybody hanging out, whatever, talking or whatever. So my wife and everybody's home. They're home at that point and sleeping. And I roll right in there, and it's dark in the room, and I'm just like, bah, right? Because I want to wake up and watch Sports Center or something. I was wide awake, right? She's like, go to bed. And I'm like, I can't.
That's too funny. Dude, I am loving. I love this conversation. This has been a very unique conversation, and I'm so glad to make your acquaintance, man. I love your mindset.
Yes, it's been great.
Well,
I appreciate you coming on.
Get to run into you down the road, Sean.
I'm here. Yeah. I'm there. I'm getting punched by fans. Come watch it.
And Sean, don't be a stranger. I'd love to have you back on. You're welcome anytime.
Yeah, you got to come back on after you get punched in the other eye.
Right, you got to get a matching set.
It's gonna look like this. I'm gonna look like this. And see what happened was.
I don't know why. It's not funny, man. I'm not.
The father punched me now. The father.
Right. Yeah.
I can't.
It's not.
Right.
It's your delivery of the story.
Right.
It's what It's
I'm
more
telling
entertaining than anything.
You need to search it. I need to find it again on YouTube because when I watched it, you can see my face just going.
You're like, wait a minute, that's not supposed to happen.
Right. And you can't make that up. You can't make that. You couldn't have scripted it any better.
People
than
on
that.
the other side of the ring, when I was laying down on top of them, they were like, "Did you get?" Yeah, I got punched. Yep.
They're like, you're red. You're like,
Yeah.
like, is there a mark? Because it
Yeah,
there's
I
so
was
much
like-
here.
Yeah, not here and here, but right
Constantly
here.
going like this. I was like, "There's no way he didn't bust open my eye." Because here's the deal: if he had busted open my eye, I would have busted open his face. Right? Because
Yeah.
that's where we kind of turn. Because now it costs me money. I have to go to the ER.
Right.
Right? You now mess with my insurance. You got to mess with my deductible. Right? So now we're taking it a whole another level here.
Right. But thank you for coming on, man. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
You know, and again, just run down again, where you'll be in the
Sure.
next couple weeks and kind of where people can reach out to you on social
Sure.
media.
Yeah, for sure. So again, this upcoming Saturday, February 21st at in Waretown, New Jersey, Titan Championship Wrestling presents Worship the Devout. I won't though. Then next Friday, New Japan at the Cure Insurance Arena in Trenton, New Jersey. 2 days later, PWJ at Ridgefield Park, New Jersey. And then on March 21st, Grumman House Wrestling presents Godzilla in Hamilton, New Jersey. And then you guys can find me on Instagram. I have X, but I don't really use it. Instagram at Mr. MR Sean SEANG18.
Cool.
Perfect.
That's
Appreciate
awesome,
it.
Totally,
Thank
guys.
you for your time, brother. And
Pleasure.
we got to have you back on very soon. Maybe after you get through these couple of shows.
Yeah.
Check on you. Check on your physical health, man. Make sure you're not all busted up.
Make sure your eyeyes okay. You know, man.
Game, just like see what had happened was, and you're like,
Right.
What had
I'm
happened?
like, no, arthritis.
That's funny. I would ask my son, my oldest son, that and what happened, and he would say, "Well, see, what had happened was," and I knew everything after that was complete bullshit.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
My father-in-law, I was like, my foot, and he goes, maybe you have gout, and I'm like, what do you think? I'm Henry VIII? Like, what? Gout?
That's great. Oh
I got
my
both
God.
of them too. So,
but guys, have a great night.
thank you too,
For the
guys.
fans listening, don't forget to check out Stro on WCW Retro tomorrow night at 7:30. Then Brady and the gang back at In the Room on Tuesday nights. And then you want to tune in next week. We kind of have a special announcement of things going on about the show coming next week. So you want to check us back out here right again, Wednesday at 7:30. Until then, again, Sean, thank you so much. Kathy, it's always a pleasure. Mozart, it was a great time.
You see, he didn't say it
appreciate
was a
everybody
pleasure
hanging
with
out.
me. He's
No.
upset with me too, Sean. You see,
It happens. It happens.
It's because listen, it's funny because we're unlike that tag team that's had a falling out, and you're like, oh, what do you mean you haven't talked in 2 weeks? Mozart and I talk pretty much every day. Like, there's
Right.
no,
I'm like,
like,
I can't, dude. Listen, I'm a huge wrestling fan. I grew up watching. I've been doing
Yep.
it for a couple of decades now. Like it.
You know what's funny,
some
and
of
really quickly. I know we're
Yeah.
winding down here, but really quickly. So it's funny you just said that because I have a friend who's like, "Oh, I do wrestling podcasts," and I'm like, "Oh, it's pretty." By the way, this is before I even got into this stuff, right? This was like the summer before, let's say.
Yeah.
And he was. I just saw him again at his kid's birthday, and he looks at me,
Okay.
and he goes, like, kind of that face, like. And I'm like, what? He goes, how did it go from like you guest spot my podcast to you're in the business?
Yeah. I think it's amazing, dude. I'm telling you, man. Like, I think that wrestling's always got everybody has a unique story, I think, and it's always worth telling. But watching some of the stuff that I see now, like, again, I got a lot of friends in both companies, and I wish everybody well. They're just things that I'm looking at, like, from fundamental standpoints, and mostly in WWE, to be frankly with you, that I'm like, whoa, Like you let that on TV, you know what I mean? But I think with AEW where they lost me, it was just matches for the sake of matches a lot.
Matches for the sake of
Following
matches.
what's
And
going
the
on.
beginning,
Yeah.
it was cool. The beginning it was
Yeah.
cool. It was
Yep.
like, oh my God, I've never seen this match. I want to see it. Now it's matches for the sake
Yeah.
of matches with no storytelling, no long-term storytelling for 3
Yeah.
weeks, and then it's over. Like, and now what?
I don't mean that, I hate that. I talked to Howard and I was like, I'm going to turn a new leaf because, I don't want to be so critical, like, because
Sure.
I'm not there and I've never worked on that level and that's it, whatever. But it's hard when I have fans come up to me now and they start telling me like what they're seeing. Like when a fan knows terms they shouldn't know, like botch and blown spots, and he didn't get anywhere near
Yeah.
him, and I'm like, yeah, I hear.
Where
you.
it's
I
so
hear you.
glaring, where a slap comes,
Yeah.
it's here, and you're like,
Yeah.
Yep.
And they can't even, what the amazing thing is they can't even get a good camera angle to make it.
no,
It's
camera
really
isn't
that
yeah, it's right
off,
there. It's,
So if you're
Yeah.
producing the show,
Christian
you've
can
got to
tell
be
you about
falling
that.
apart.
Christian,
What's that?
Christian can tell you about that with his concerto.
Yeah.
Didn't even
Yeah.
hit his
Really?
head.
That was terrible.
Didn't
I
hit
missed
his
that.
head.
Terrible.
So you
No.
concerto, and it wouldn't
Mhm.
even remotely get close to him, and you saw it not get close to him.
Oh no.
Yeah, and you saw it. Not yet.
And then he tried to sell
Yeah.
it, but it's like, yo, I saw it. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Anyway, guys, let me run.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Hey,
Thank
listen,
you,
great to
guys.
meet you,
Appreciate
man. I
it.
appreciate you. Mhm.
Absolutely. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.
Have a good night, everybody.
Take care, man. Bye bye.
Voice of choice